What is good, chat? How are we doing today? Welcome to another show. First things first, let me know if y'all can hear me, all right? And the second, oh my goodness, Breast Watson, okay? Shout out to Face God. Breast Watson is not having a good month, okay? Matter of fact, it seems as though a lot of these alpha male guys, these pill poppers, these guys who've made a massive living and selling a lot of you incels a pipe dream on how to be a masculine dude, right? You know, just go ahead and pay a $2,000 here into this program, and a bald, sweaty, shirtless guy on roids is just gonna scream at you. And somehow that's just supposed to motivate you for some reason because, you know, that guy telling you that you ain't shit for giving him $2,000, he clearly isn't telling you exactly what he feels about you. No. It's some kind of reverse psychology that's supposed to help you become a better, what do you call it, high value man. Is that what you guys go for? Yeah, so Breast Watson, it seems as though, I mean, he's been having a bad year after getting exposed, but it seems as though a lot of it now is coming to a head, okay? Because listen, one thing that you got to understand that is showing that it's the end of Breast Watson, or Wes Watson. I can't stop calling him that now. Ever since the crash out with Andrew Wilson on the Fresh and Fit show, right? But here's the thing. The problem with Wes Watson is that, listen, yeah, some of the smarter guys who initially, I would say smarter, but the less likely to fall into a victim for being a cult, right? They would more likely leave once all of this other exposed stuff happened, right? Matter of fact, I think after that whole scenario that happened on Fresh and Fit's, what do you call it? Fresh and Fit's convention. Y'all remember when they hosted that? Yeah, all of that nonsense where he crashed out insanely on Andrew Wilson. He lost a good percentage of his audience there. But a big section of it where he lost that was back when he got exposed, because it turns out that this guy, he lies about his prison record. Yeah. He built up his grift into the self-help space by, you know, doing the prison influencer space, right? So basically, what is that? It's basically a bunch of ex-cons starting a YouTube channel and then, you know, basically building off their reputation of being ex-cons, right? And then they build a channel off of it, sell a course, do a podcast or two, and it is what it is, right? But Wes Watson took it a step too far, where he started claiming that, you know, not only did he go to prison, but when he was at prison, he was what's known as a shot caller. Now, some of you guys who are not street smarts or prison smarts like me, a shot caller is someone who basically, you know, they run a whole prison block, right, or section of it. In this case, he claimed he ran a yard. That no joke. A lot of people expose him on that because, you know, he's I did 10 years. 10 years. We pulled up the record on this channel. We actually did that. We pulled up the record. Come to find out, the 10 years wasn't 10 years. He did like 4. Like it wasn't even 4. It was like a total of 6, but like 3 or not even. No, he didn't even do it in the state he claimed he went to prison in California, right? It was like he touched down in like a holding center, and then immediately he was shipped off to Oklahoma, which he spent majority of his sentence from. And people who went to prison around that time basically said, bro, I was there. He wasn't no shot caller. We didn't even know who he was. I don't know him. We don't know who Wes Watson is, but he managed to build a platform, a career off of that, because incels, you can't underestimate them. They're very desperate when it comes to self-help shit online. So they bought into his gig and all of that, right? So what ends up happening is that all of those people who initially bought in for that self-help stuff, they realize that Breast Watson is a crash out, right? He can't help somebody if he himself is sick in the head. Like, he's got problems. Clearly, the guy has issues, right? So they left. Now, here's where it's truly over for him, okay? Now he's about to lose the incel crowd, right? The incel crowd are gone. And what is the best way to get rid of your incel crowd? Well, to prove that you don't really get chicks the way you claim, right? Because what you guys got to understand about this manosphere grift, or I wouldn't say manosphere, but this self-help alpha male bullshit grift that they do, right? A lot of guys buy into it because they think if they take the same course Wes Watson is bragging about. They can have the beautiful, hot girls he's surrounding himself by. They can have, you know, the money, the fame, whatever Wes Watson has, because he brags about making $20,000 or no, not even that. Like, what do you call it, 60,000 every week or something like that, right? These outrageous claims that he's making. So a lot of these incels, they buy into that bullshit, okay, and they get scammed because what they realize is how these influencers get rich is not by the work they actually did in these courses they've outlined. No. It's the courses themselves they're selling you. That's how they get rich. That's it, right? That's all the money making scheme is. They don't actually have to have a skill in that particular field. Hell, what field in business are you doing? They don't know, right? You don't even have to have a particular knowledge in it. It's just you pay him, you go in there, he gives you certain advice that is just generic as fuck, and then he sends you on your way, right? Congratulations, that's $3,500 well spent, you moron. I mean, geez, but this is how they get him, right? But now that they're realizing that everything about Wes Watson's life is being completely deconstructed, from the money aspect of it to the alpha male aspect of it, now to the fact that he may not even get into women in the alpha male way that he gets them, right? Because a couple of weeks ago, it was actually exposed that his girl right now that he's with, or he was with, basically is a 304, right? So there's evidence out there now that like is showing out there, that it's out there on the spaces that, yeah, the woman that Wes Watson has been like parading around, yeah, she actually parades around on, you know, one of those sites where you hire companions. Those companions come and give you lovey-dovey time. Yeah, so it turns out that's what's going around out there, and he's getting cooked absolutely all over the place because people are saying, "Oh, this isn't alpha. Wow, this isn't alpha at all. I can't believe I paid money for this guy's course." Right? I mean, I could have go to Thailand to go do something. I can't believe I've been paying Wes Watson, and he can't even get girls, and the girls he's getting, they're not even original, right? What's going on? Am I wasting my time? See, this is what's gonna happen. A lot of these incels, when you keep buying into these influencers that claim they have their everything put together, high value package, right? And you buy into their bullshit. 5 to 10 years from now, you're gonna realize you've been scammed. You're gonna realize you've been scammed because these guys, it's all one giant grift, and it's all coming to a head for Wes Watson. His done, right? The viewerships are gone, right? You know, the sales from his courses are gone because people are realizing, bro, you're not teaching anything but screaming, right? So people don't want to invite him to podcasts anymore because he's a crash out. He's not reliable, unstable guy, right? So you can start to see the walls closing in, and now the entire internet for the past month have been going in on this guy, and we're about to join in, right? One of the videos we're going to react into is Don Ozzy, or Don Ozzy. Shout out to the Don Ozzy with the video, basically breaking down everything that we need to know about this guy, and it's basically why his life is, at least the social media aspect of it, is done, right? He's eventually, the next video you're going to see from this guy, it's eventually going to hang up the coat. He's going to hang up the coat, and he's going to go either join a different grift, alt-white, right-white grift, or he's gonna go do something else. Who knows, right? But it's coming to that time because there's not much of this you can take, right? Come on, Wes. All right, Chad, shout out to you guys. But before we get into it, let's go ahead and go over the most important thing, which is the sponsor of today's show, which is you guys. And how do you become a sponsor of today's show? It's super simple. Just hit the like button, the one right below the screen here, right here. And congratulations, you're a show sponsor. Welcome to the family. Let's go ahead and get it, Chad. Shout out to y'all.
Lame ass motherfucker.
You see this guy right here? This is Wes. Wes did.
Yo, the Don Ozzy, his name is now Breast Watson. And chat, hold up. The reason why we have to talk about this, call him that, and I have to explain this for you, it's because he went after Andrew Wilson's titties. Yeah, another man's titties. He's obsessed with other man's breasts, right? Like, it's just weird, bro. Like, I always think a lot of these guys, the moment they get out of prison, and they start hanging around other dudes intensely, judging them on specific body parts like their boobs, they're sus. Just saying, bro. Just saying. Hey, Breast Watson ain't no different.
10 years in prison. But thankfully, like Jordan Belfort, also known as the Wolf of Wall Street, and Sheldon Johnson, who appeared on the Joe Rogan podcast, he saw the error in his ways, and since his release, he's been on the straight and narrow. Or so he says. In reality, like Jordan Belfort and Sheldon Johnson, they all went back to what they were doing beforehand.
Police say Sheldon Johnson killed a victim at the victim's apartment in the Bronx.
The price of going to this event is $24,000.
In Wes Watson's case, the only noticeable change when he came home was his hairline. The temperance and immaturity he had going in remained the same coming out.
Smoking weed, you're up. You've been doing it a year? Shut the up. Shut up.
Additionally, he came back with added lies, alleged scams, and overall, he seemed to have worsened, if that's even possible. I first really got familiar with Wes Watson when I watched his most popular video, Prison Gangs, You Have No Choice. Now, if you have some background on this guy already, you might be wondering how he even has followers, but this video was actually really interesting. Although I enjoyed the video, it seemed almost as if he was glorifying prison, and almost wearing it as a badge of honor. Away, I don't have to get...
No, that's what they do. That's the whole point of the prison influencer grifting thing, right? It's to be such a badass, right? Or to play up the badassery role because you've done penitentiary time, that people who haven't done that, who want to live vicariously through you, basically invest in whatever tough guy courses you're selling. That's essentially it. I'm not saying all prison influencers do this. So I'm not saying that. There are obviously some who genuinely talk about their experience and they're able to translate their content into something, that, can be palatable to other wider different topics, right? But Wes Watson, essentially, he lasered in and went full send in on the tough guy grift, right? And he had to play that role so much, right? It became a caricature, right? We don't know if half of it is actually him. The other 50% is the steroids and massive amounts of steroids he's been injecting in his neck right here, right? We don't know, right? But at the end of the day, he's been playing up that role like he's some hardened thug that ran a prison yard in a prison during a time no one can actually verify, right? And again, his whole money getting aspect of it depended on that image, right? But as that came crashing down, then he had to jump into the whole, I'm making tons of money with businesses and whatnot, right? And then that come crashing down. It's just moving to the next thing. It just shows you how easy it is for you to fool people on the internet, particularly very, very, just guys who are very susceptible to this kind of cult membership mindset.
Get into detail as to why that's not something you should be proud of, and it's actually really weird. Think of your favorite gangster rapper. They talk about getting out of prison and beating the odds, and during their interviews when they're asked about their time in prison, they'll generally be pretty matter-of-fact about it, especially people who are already known to be savages. They don't need to get into excruciating detail about what went on in prison for obvious reasons. But for Wes, not only did it seem like a badge of honor to him, it almost seems like something he's proud of. Like someone's grandpa telling war stories, he almost has a sense of honor. Naturally, I want to see the nature of his charges and the details of him being locked up. This is all a very compelling story and genuinely made me feel some respect for him. This lasted until I found out every word out of his mouth was a lie. Before we get...
Yo, I was about to say, Don, this guy, we listen, we already exposed this guy's rap sheet, right? We already exposed it. His rap sheet it wasn't true. He lied about most of it. He lied about it, right? It wasn't true. But yeah, it was bad. And it's like stuff like that's public record. Why lie about it, right? I get it. You got a grift going on, and you got things to do and money to make, and incels to scam. But like, why lie about something that can be provable because it's public record? Like, your name's out there. You went by your real name. People could just go research Wes Watson, look at your time in the prison sentence you did, and then realize all the things you bragged about and made millions of on the internet, it was all a lie. These guys, it's like they don't think ahead. They're just ready to go into the scam and go out. Like, it's crazy. Yo, shout out to Dev for the $2 super chat. Dev says, bro was probably a trustee serving trays. Fuck out of here. Here's the thing. He tried to claim that he was a millionaire or he was super rich before he went into prison, right? He said that on a No Jumper podcast. And then when we looked at why he got arrested, it was burglary, right? Not even burglary. It was a drug deal gone wrong, right? Where he was basically gonna just backdoor a drug dealer or during a drug deal, right? So it's like, if you were making millions, why backdoor your customers? Like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, you're selling drugs and then you backdoor your customers. And you get arrested for it. It's just so, his whole come up story was sus.
Get to that. There's an entire side of YouTube that's dedicated to ex-convicts giving their stories about their time in prison. There's people who tell entertaining stories, some who look at it through a spiritual lens, and really anything you'd want to know about prison is contained in this subset of YouTube. One thing these YouTubers all have in common besides, talking about prison, is that they all think this guy is a phony.
This dude, if I had to draw a cartoon of what an inmate is, it'd be Wes Watson. It's over the top. I even had a YouTube channel get a hold of me today, and he told me, and it made total sense. This dude is, when you watch Wes Watson, it's like watching the movie Get Hard. It's the same thing.
Wes Watson has far more subscribers and notoriety than a lot of them, but that very obviously has no bearing on how legitimate he is. If anyone would know the difference between a poser and a real one, it'll be these guys. And it seems the consensus is Wesley here is more of a performer than a tough guy. In a lot of these videos, they call him out for things that only people who are familiar with the climate of prison and the unspoken rules would be familiar with, and how they don't align with anything he said. I haven't been to prison, nor do I have plans of going there, so I can't really speak to that. What I'm more concerned with personally is why he was there and how long he was there for. Before that, have you guys ever heard of stolen valor? When someone who's never been in the military LARPs as if they've served. Sometimes people do it to get some sort of benefit or because a lot of places offer discounts and benefits for veterans, but oftentimes it's simply to get respect.
Look at this guy. I am a sergeant major of the KFC chair force. Reporting for duty, sir. Those guys are always so funny.
Notoriety. Be looked at as a hero by stealing the respect we as a
What are you doing, bro? What are you doing, bro? Come on. Dude look like he just about had it with life, bro. Bro got the suburban PTSD special, bro. Oh my goodness, bro. Get out of here.
Society give to our army veterans, hence the name Stolen Valor. It looks like the former inmate community has their equivalent to this, and they don't take too kindly to people who pretend to be who they were.
Nobody can take that from us. Some of us have really ran prison yards. Some of us were really within a prison organization gang. Some of us have had leadership roles. Some of us have really committed stabbings. Some of us have been in melees. Some of us have been the ones that called those green lights. This individual has been a fake.
Wes acted like he was damn near in Chorgom prison with Tai Lung from Kung Fu Panda. He was such a well-respected threat that he needed to be locked up underneath the jail. But in reality, he was in a prison you can only really be in if you're non-violent. If Wes did the things he pretends to have done and really was a boss in prison, that would reflect in where they kept him.
All his prison history, all this stuff I'm talking about, he's been in Salinas Valley and all these yards and level 4s, and he's been on nothing but out-of-state prisons. Which you have to have special requirements to be in these prisons. You can't just sit there and go there and being part of violence or whatnot. They're not going to keep you.
But my main focus isn't who Wes was before YouTube and social media. I just think it does hold some weight because, as we established in the saddest YouTube couple ever video, these guys who are career criminals typically don't change their ways. But Wes Watson only gets more obnoxious when you look into his rap sheet on YouTube. And unlike his prison stories, these ones are real. Looking up Wes Watson on YouTube, Reddit, Twitter, anything, you're inundated with
Is that Joey Stacks? That's another guy that's been calling his ass out.
Videos of him scamming, lying, cussing out his paying customers, ghosting his paying customers, while at the same time flaunting his wealth that he's only afforded because he's taken the money from thousands of people. It's common practice for these fraudulent scamming gurus to have no wealth, portray wealth or general wealthy status, and then turn around and flex on the people who got them that wealth in the first place.
All of this stuff, by the way, it's all rented. It's all rented to sell an image. Matter of fact, y'all know, speaking of rented to sell image, that's tomorrow's show. Ty Lopez is back. Y'all know that? Yeah, oh yeah. The king of scammers is coming back or has come back to reclaim his crown. Okay, because he's out here with a new scam. Bro rented what do you call it? A $300 million mansion or whatever the fuck it was, right? A 30 million. It was a big ass mansion, and then did a whole ass video talking about how, yeah, you know why this is such a great investment, renting this massive mansion, so I can flex about how rich I am versus you are, right? That's all this is. All of your money you are paying them for these stupid courses to get rich like them. just goes towards paying the bills on the massive rent these guys accumulate on these properties just to flex on you to get more money. It's like the fact that y'all don't see the cycle, it's just, it goes crazy. Since when can a guy who did 10 years in prison come out here and teach you, someone who already has an established business, anything at all? And yet you all fall for these scams. You see a Rolls Royce and then you lose your mind.
Wealth or general wealthy status, and then turn around and flex on the people who got them that wealth in the first place. It's pretty much an expensive game of the blind leading the blind, and there aren't too many people calling this out. Before we delve deeper into the rabbit hole that is Wes Watson, we gotta take a look at his video descriptions. That's where you'll find all of his courses, books, coaching calls, and his general scams. It's a mystery why anyone would go to an ex-convict who clearly hasn't changed his ways for financial advice, or really any advice at all. I mean, the guy couldn't avoid one of the two biggest things people are generally wanting to avoid in their 80 years on earth. Only really second to death. But it seems that all it takes for some people is loud yelling in a big house. Anyway, once here, the first link is to his coaching. And no, I didn't misspeak. He coaches coaches on how to coach. The landing page video starts with him yelling at me over the cars he has.
It was
Right here, chat, is the best way you could ever describe what these guys do. It's teaching coach how to coach. Like, what the fuck? What? Right? It's just, they don't teach you, like, they don't sit there and consult you on strategies, like on your logistics or maybe cost measures here and there. Like, they don't actually sit down and go over those concrete business things with you. It's just how to just be a coach. Some of it is just how to be a online marketer coach, right? You don't actually do anything. I swear to goodness, the most useless class I've seen right now are these so-called influencer consultants online. Y'all are just the most, like, what do you guys even, like, how effective are most of y'all, right? It seems like anybody, all they have to do is just come up with a rags to riches backstory, take out a line of credit here and there, pretend to be rich, and then talk about how they have this secret magic that made them rich. All you got to do is pay $3,500. Yeah, and I can share that secret sauce with you too. And y'all fall for it. That's how easy it is. It's no different than like way back in the day, right, where you got these medieval snake oil guys that roll into a town. They sell you these fake products, and by the time everybody's all hooked on it, they're gone before they realize they've been fleeced. That's what these guys are doing to you.
Coaches on how to coach. The landing page video starts with him yelling at me over the cars he has.
It was all a dream, but it doesn't have to be. These are just a few of my cars, slips and all.
But then he proceeds to tell me it's not about the cars he has or the money he has, it's about helping others.
Tell you is it's not about that. It's about the impact you're making on others.
Wes Watson doesn't get his clients because he's so helpful, because he's not. He gets his clients from the illusion of success and wealth. The coaches that are coming to him for coaching calls aren't inspired because they're thinking, gee, this guy seems like he truly wants to help people and I do too. No, they're thinking this guy is filthy rich, I want to be there as well, thus they sign up. Another huge red flag is that he offers coaching advice to coaches of all genres. Whether you want to coach fitness or finance or life advice, hell, even if you want to coach him to coach you to coach others, he can help you. Once again,
that should have been told y'all. That's a telltale sign of a scam, like an ongoing scam. Somebody who's a master of everything, but not a one skill. The only skill he spent enough time in was a penitentiary. Are you serious? Like, how could he help you with anything else other than what he already knows, right? Listen, if you want to be a social media coach and how to be a crash out, and you can teach courses on that, fine, because you are, right? But then you start portraying yourself as the master of all these trades. And then what's even worse is these idiots online actually believe you and pay you for these services. I'm starting to wonder who's the bigger fool here, right? The guy who's lying or the people getting scammed, right? I don't get it. How can someone who knows nothing about that subject or no experience in it teach you about it? And these guys make upwards to sometimes $7,000, $8,000, $10,000 per sessions. No, chat. I shit you not. You want to know how lucrative this stuff is? These guys make tens of thousands of dollars. Imagine this. Any one of you guys in the chat right now, every single one of y'all, imagine if somebody decided, hey, let's start a heavy marketing campaign and just, use our credit card, max it all out, and then just pretend to be rich for like a month, and then just promote the hell out of it on social media, right? And then we sell this $5,000 course on the back end. That's the easiest way to get rich because people will buy it, right? So the Don Ozzy is right, because people do buy these courses. They want the cars, the money, the girls. But again, everybody hides from the shame of that greed by pretending to be altruistic. That's to answer your question, Don, why they always say, well, it's about helping people at the end of the day. Yeah, because they're hiding. They have to hide that, because the guys who are getting scammed, they know they're being greedy, right? And the guys who are doing the scamming, they know they're being greedy. So what they do is say, oh, well, it's all about helping people. Yeah, we're actually here to help you, the people. You're morons, all of you. Like, it's just morons. A shout out to Sasha Rosewater with the $5 super chat. Sasha says, you know the phrase, he who is a jack of all trade is a master of none? Yeah, you're looking at him right here.
Again, this is further proof that this whole thing is all about money and nothing more. Wes has no actionable skills besides maybe motivation, and even that can be summed up as a louder, angrier, roided out version of David Goggins. At least David Goggins has actual accomplishments and doesn't have a social media and business that revolves around money. He's actually trying to motivate and inspire, and the worst you could say is he shills his book. But at the price tag of $23, I'm not too mad at it. The next thing he's offering is actually free, so I'll give him points for that. I take all those points away once I sign up for the book, and I'm forced to watch a 10-minute video of him shirtless, which is
it's called the freemium. Like, no, chat. Like, again, if you go deep into these coaching programs, like, if y'all have the money to want to like just fuck around and see what these like scams are all about, right? I dare you, just go through this social experiment, right? Because it's a freemium model, right? So the video in itself, or the free, it's like, or the, what do you call it? The value in itself, that's being offered for free. Essentially, the back end is you have to watch this video. This is the marketing video to get you to actually pay for the paid stuff, right? Because this video is basically there to basically say, hey, we're giving you this free stuff, but realistically, if you want to know more, you want to join this exclusive club we got going on over here. So they have to do this. It's called a funnel. So they have to keep, like, you have, literally, if you click on the landing page, right? And you watch this video and you decide, nah, it's not worth it, I don't want to do it, and you hop out, congratulations, you're amongst the smarter ones, right? Because the ones who actually click further and actually get paid, or go up and pay in for the extended versions, they're the real idiots. They're the ones who actually get scammed, right? They're the ones who believe their lives can magically be transformed by this scamming prisoner, or not prisoner, I'm sorry, soon to be prisoner.
basically just a thinly veiled promotion and a funnel to his other courses in which he yells and spits on me.
How did you stay motivated? How did you stick to your goals? How did you keep that?
Predictably, the book is worthless. Basic advice like wake up at 8 a.m., don't eat bad, meditate, and stuff you can find in any self-help book, but I won't rag on it too much because it's free. But I do find it funny that an alpha male is talking about signs you're operating at a higher frequency, like he's some sort of high school astrology girl. One last point is that it's no coincidence that none of these signs are anything tangible, because since this is a funnel to his other courses, he needs to make sure those reading this are all able to fall underneath this umbrella. So he couldn't put better performance at work as a sign, better body composition, or better relationships, because people probably aren't getting any of those results from his book, but they sure are getting perspective and oneness and things that might come after getting a motivational speech. Now,
and this is how these freaking weasels weasel their way out of accountability, right? That's why I told y'all, I've been told y'all, the self-help shit, most of it's a scam. It's a scam because realistically, a lot of these guys, they're so vague in the stuff they're promoting out there, and it's not really non-specific, but it's uplifting enough that when you invest in it and you don't see the results, right, you get gaslit into basically believing that the fault is on you, right? Because these guys have given themselves so much wiggle room with the way they've even worded the products and down to the way they've marketed the whole damn thing for them to basically say, yeah, that's not our fault. Well, you just got the free book. Realistically, that's why you failed. If you actually paid the $1,000 and joined the internal club, right? Then you would have actually gotten the internal knowledge, but you didn't. Why? You're so cheap, right? And then they gaslight you. They actually make fun of you for being broke and not being able to afford to buy into their inner cult, right? Their inner brainwashing. That's how they do it. It's become a weird ass, like, I don't even know how to explain it. Like, if you want to know how to start a cult, just observe the pill popping space. That's the best way I can say it.
All that's left for you to do is sign up and pay him thousands of dollars. He also offers coaching calls for fitness and teaches people how to lose weight and gain muscle. Clearly the guy's in shape, but just like you can't look at the finished product and instantly trust the guy knows what he's doing money-wise, you can't do the same here with bodies. The consensus is that this guy is not natural. I mean, you don't need to be Derek from More Plates, More Days to realize that. Look at the sheer vascularity on this guy currently. That alone is enough to raise suspicions. This guy also doesn't even claim natural status because he'd obviously get called out. Just for perspective,
like, bro, like, this is just absolutely insane work, bro. Just lifting in flat ass Converse, bro. Your feet, your feet, bro. This just must be like horrible. Just wow, yo, you're gonna have major problems, dude. You gotta get proper gym shoes.
and to drive the point home, here's how he looked in prison.
Going back to the beginning of his Instagram, we could see the first picture of him here in 2015.
That is very attainable. He gained 20 pounds of muscle and is more shredded than before. Now, disclaimer, if you do take some stuff to enhance your physique, I don't really look down on that. In fact, Wes had a decent physique before prison, so he clearly at the very least knows how to put on muscle. I just think it ties together all the false advertising this guy does, and it shows it doesn't just
he got the Dwayne Johnson special, right? You know, where you all of a sudden massively bulk up and all your hair's gone. That's basically what it is, bro. I mean, again, there's nothing wrong with, like, I won't say there's nothing wrong with steroids. There's hella things wrong with steroids, right? It's one of the main things that a lot of these bodybuilders die from, right? A lot of y'all just die from heart attacks and heart failures because you're putting your body through that much stress. But again, I do understand if you're trying to look a certain way, do a certain way, listen, it's your body, your choice, dog. It's funny how that sounds, huh? It's your body, bro. And I think the government should like legalize that shit, right? If men want to go ahead and kill themselves with heart failure and by injecting steroids, by all means, regulate it for sure, but legalize it, right? It's the man's body, so let it be his choice to choose if he wants to inject his neck with a shit ton of steroids, like this guy.
Extend to one area of his life. Furthermore, if you want weights and nutrition advice, there are people who don't have shady backgrounds and instead have degrees in this subject who you can literally watch for free and they won't verbally abuse you.
Excuses aren't valid, motherfucker. Why do you guys think anyone gives a fuck?
Given his extensive record of predatory sales tactics and questionable conduct, it wouldn't be a surprise if we found out Wes doesn't deliver on his promises. Fortunately, we don't need to rely on speculation. There's an abundance of negative reviews from his clients, and they're worse than you could imagine. Wes Watson's Reddit that originally started out as most fan communities do, you know, talking about the videos, the idea, the person they enjoy watching, has turned into an anti-fan haven, and I don't blame them. It's not like in the case of Low Tier God where people just enjoy laughing at him. No, these people actually experience being scammed by him. They're not just trolls, they actually have personal issues that stem from them losing thousands of dollars to him. One story detailed how Wes Watson would get his competitors' profiles banned and grabbing people's personal info to scare them. He has actual proof of him working for Wes on his Telegram allegedly, so his word does hold some weight. That and the fact that I wouldn't put it past someone like Wes to do this makes me inclined to believe him. You've all heard of the saying, hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. I think every guy can attest to that being true, but I think the saying should be hell hath no fury like a scam victim scorned, because Wes eventually didn't pay this guy the $73K he was owed, and oh boy did he get revenge. On log—
Whoa! $73,000! I'm sorry, you're tart. You're tart. That's the price of a new GMC Sierra. You gave it to this bald weirdo for what? For what? Oh my goodness, $73,000. Our men are fucked. I'm sorry. These are incels losing insane amount of money to Eastern European OnlyFans webcam model type of money being lost here. But y'all are losing it to these dudes. Wes Watson fleeced you for $73K. How does that work? Hold up. How does that work? Hold up. How does that work? I mean, if it's that easy, I mean, why not? I mean, chat. I mean, come on, why not? What, $73,000? Are you kidding me? But this is what, like, chat, when we tell you that there's a reason why it's important to call out this stuff, right? It is, right? I know some of you guys may laugh and say, okay, these dudes deserve it. And I laugh too. You got to clown them because, you know, sometimes tough love, right? But at the end of the day, that's how you know that you're being brainwashed. That's what these funnels are really meant to do, right? It's to funnel the dumbest of the, or at least the more what's that word I'm looking for, right? I can't find it, right? But it's finding the person who is literally easily falling to being suggested, right? That's it. And that person funnels down that tunnel, and the more you further down that tunnel you go, the more you pay, right? Because you have to pay to go through those gates. It's a very elaborate scam, right? The Tape Brothers got a running, functioning scam just like that, but theirs is like coming from a five-dimensional space, right? Because you're thinking it's a scam within a scam within a scam, but the whole overall thing is a scam for one giant scam. It's insane. I didn't even know how he did it, right? We didn't even know. We thought we just focused on something else. But again, a lot of these internet gurus, this is what they do. All right. So 73,000. Chat. What? Put it in the chat right now. What would you do if somebody just dropped 73K in your laps right now? It just hit your bank account, direct deposit, right? What would you do with that money, right? I mean, I'm just saying, bro. That's crazy. And honestly, young man, whoever lost that money, you deserve it. You're mad that a guy who's a convict, ex-con, isn't giving you your $73,000 back because you didn't get what you paid for. Why give an ex-con $73,000? You moron. Let's get to the super chat. Mosi
Butt ass
with the 5 says, how do these bald shirtless guys like Wes Watson and Andrew Tate who yell at the camera get so many views? Is this what turns incels on? Yeah, because in their mind, this is masculine. Yeah, you got to be buff, oiled up, shirtless, right? And then, just start acting like you got a mental problem. And then, people are going to say, oh, well, that guy seems like he has it all together. I'm going to give him $73,000. You morons. Yeah, it's that easy. So, ladies, gentlemen, if you ever want to know how to score rich on the internet, just know this is how powerful the incel market are, right? I mean, we're surprised about this right now, but some incels would flip this kind of money to an OnlyFans girl on a webcam in a heartbeat, right? Some dudes are doing that even more than that right now. Hell, there are people who are deleting their parents just to take their inheritance money and give everything to these webcam models. So I'm not surprised that some dudes in these alpha male spaces figured out how to trick the incels to giving them that piece of that pie. It's crazy. Let's continue.
Fucked for Life banned him. I have banned Wes over 15 times. He has stolen from multiple clients of mine. He's beat his ex-wife and her kids. He will be
impressionable. That's the word I'm looking for. Shout out to Slapstick.
Destroyed. This is the very first post of Wes that this guy posted. He's the one responsible for banning Wes' Instagram page, which is the biggest funnel to his scams. Now, I'm not condoning this, but I will say I'm not losing any sleep over Wes being banned relentlessly. Wes chose the wrong person to scam because he posted all of his information from his phone number to his mom's voice recordings. And as for that, let's just say the apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
Your mom's a bag. All grabbing up everything for herself. I'm a minimalist.
Ironic, the big buff alpha male who's been to prison had to call his mom to defend him against bullies. The rest of his Reddit is
You called your mama? Nah. Not the ex-con that ran the whole prison yard calling his mama on the online beef. The dude just wanted his money back. Why you calling your grandma or your mama? Hold on, I thought you ran a prison yard. Was grandma running the prison yard? Like, was your mom running it? Like, why are you calling your mom to handle your customers' service requests? Like, this is crazy, bro. Like, again, these guys, bro, they're really just babies underneath all that muscle.
filled with more of the same. Scamming testimonies, people discussing how his account got banned for the millionth time, just straight up accusations of Wes being gay. Yep, this is what Reddit's all about. In the videos of Wes's coaching calls, he's pretty much just yelling at his client, literally just verbally abusing them.
It's the life you could have lived. It's because my childhood trauma and then shut the up. Shut up. Get to work. Why are you so negative, Wes? Why are you a...
As for the testimonies themselves, one reason that Wes was talking to a new client, and this new client asked a pretty fair question, especially for someone just starting out. And that was if he should weigh his chicken cooked or uncooked. Wes proceeded to tell this guy to give himself an uppercut.
What? It's one of those situations where you know bro just lied on his job resume, right? It's like it's one of those scenarios, bro. It's a simple question, right? Hey, do you weigh the chicken before or after? Like how it's just like, listen, there's some serious calorie counters out there, which I'm not a calorie counter. I don't suggest, because that is a stressful thing. You ought to be carrying down your own massive gym bags with your own little prepackaged meals, right? But they weigh their food. So if you're pretending to be this fitness expert online, right, you're gonna get people who are gonna have these fitness questions, and you're lucky he's not even going in depth, right? Because there are more questions he could be asking that are more comprehensive. Now, essentially, imagine if you're one of these guys and you paid him $1,000 just to get this kind of message. Just imagine this. Like, if you, his whole fitness routine is not dieting and, efficient working out or types of lifting, right? No. His whole fitness routine is ingesting mass amounts of steroids and then yelling and screaming. That's it. Okay, so again, it's hilarious that he replies with, "Oh yeah? Are you challenging my intelligence? Huh? You don't think I know if you should weigh a chicken before or after you cook it? Go uppercut yourself." It's crazy. That's a wild response, bro.
Now, this is funny to me, but I'm not the one paying thousands to hear this. In the course Wes gives you, you also get access to Wes for questions. And by that, I mean someone pretending to be him responds on behalf of him while he drives his $1 million cars. The same guy who witnessed Wes prompting his client to uppercut himself details a story of how when he had shoulder pain, a very common pain point for lifters who are just starting out, Wes then was gracious enough to send him a screenshot from Google of workout.
Nah! Nah, bro. I see this at my local gym. Nah, don't tell me this was the guy that paid $73K. Oh no. Oh no. Don't tell me this is the same. This the same dude that paid. Is he leaking? He leaked this info? The guy that paid him 70. Oh no, you got scammed. This is insane levels of scamming. He got you. He got you with Google image, bro. He didn't even develop these images. If you point to one of these diagrams and say, okay, what stretches this right here? This guy, what is he doing? I don't know. He probably wouldn't even tell you what this person sitting down is doing. He couldn't tell you. He just pulled it off of Google. You paid $73,000 for this. Like, dude, my chest hurts for you, bro. Like, that sucks. Man.
Else to do to fix it. Thanks, Wes. I'm really glad I'm getting my money's worth. Wes thinks so lowly of his pay pigs that he couldn't even be bothered to copy and paste.
I would think lowly of them too. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, bro. You paid him, an ex-con, $73,000. What else did you expect would happen? They were gonna be a billionaire? Like, he was gonna help you? What?
The text. The screenshot was just an insult to injury, pun intended. The next testimony was from a Reddit user who had a run-in with Wes. He details how in 2020, they weren't entirely sure what they were signing up for, but they went ahead with it anyway. It cost him about $750 for a month or two. I guess he had come across one of his videos and found the screaming, cussing, and lies inspirational, so he decided to join. They exchanged texts, and they ended up being a part of a group with around a dozen subscribers. They would meet on Zoom every Saturday afternoon, and Wes would start by yelling into the mic for a bit, just in case he weren't sure what you were there for. Then he'd call in each person individually. Every week they had to submit photos. Although they could message the coach through an app, he quickly...
What kind of photos? Wait a minute, bro. A shirtless dude pops in a Zoom meeting with other men who are aspiring to be just like him, and not only is he yelling and screaming at you, but not only does he demand your absolute attention, he also demands you send him photos. What does he do with those photos? I don't know. I have no idea, right? But those of you who find other dudes like this who clearly have mental problems screaming and yelling online as inspirational, you need help. Like, there's nothing about what he does is inspirational, right? Shout out to Mo C for the 2. Mo C says $73K. That's even worse than the War Room. Yeah, I think what happened is because they must have been selling course packages that must be like a year-long course where you can get like access, all exclusive access to him, and send him personal questions and he'll answer to you and stuff like that. So again, most of that money you're just paying for his time. Apparently it's worth $73,000 that whole year. You paid somebody else's yearly wage to a bald guy to scream at you. To say you were scammed is an understatement.
He learned that asking questions would often lead to insults. The workouts included a mix of burpees, weights, with a lot of air squats, sit-ups, and push-ups. He did say he got results from Wes, but really anyone can yell at you to start lifting and install you for free. The guy even advised against using him and said ChatGPT would be a better option, stating just ask ChatGPT to put together a diet and a workout regimen for you. And if you don't have the motivation and feel like you need a drill sergeant from hell shouting at you, in that case, go with Wes. He should also have added, and if you have $1,000 to burn, but I digress. Now, this next Reddit testimony is honestly quite sad. It's by someone who wasn't just looking for a diet plan and stumbled upon Wes. It was a genuine fan who was nearly scammed out of $1,500. And if you think this is the worst of Wes's deeds, buddy, we're just getting started. This is the foreplay. This testimony shows how predatory it is when guys like Donovan Sharp, the saint and the sinner, and this guy portray lifestyles of wealth and opulence, even when they don't have it. They don't just do it because they have huge egos. That's about half the reason. Other half is to get suckers like this. OP saw Wes, heard his story of starting from the bottom, about as down and out as you can get in prison, to then driving multi-million-dollar cars and owning these businesses. How could he not reach out to Wes? If he can make it, so can I, he thought. So, naturally, when Wes made an Instagram story advertising his business and coaching with a ton of testimonials from guys who are making money off it, this guy wanted in. Bear in mind, this guy had less than $3,000 to his name.
This is what I say. This is, and a lot of the time, a lot of these incels, or I'm sorry, these pill poppers, they come out of nowhere and they attack you when you call this shit out, right? Because every time I say, hey, a lot of these men who are spending these amounts of money, right? A lot of times this is their last dollar. A lot of times this is their life savings that they're investing, because the marketing for them was done so well that they genuinely believe that if they cashed out their life savings, like the guy who dropped $73,000, that somehow they can turn their life savings into $100,000, $300,000, $400,000 because a few idiots online said, yeah, I guess it kind of works, so maybe it's worth it. This is how, you know, again, we can laugh at it, but the real people getting hurt, because it's no different than a scammer calling from Nigeria, calling from India, or whatever these places they call from, right? And they scam your grandma, right? You scam your grandma out of her life savings, because it happens all the time in America. It's no different, but except it's happening to incels online. But these incels don't realize they're doing it to themselves.
Around $3K left to spend on anything. He saw Wes as a wise business investment. Keep in mind, the price of the coaching is $3K. We can talk about how naive this guy is another time, but I think you can see where this is headed. He talked to Wes expressing his interest in joining, but he didn't have enough money. Wes, like the benevolent, kind, loving leader he is, he declined to take his last $3K and offered only to rob him of $1,500. So rather than telling this guy, hey man, would love for you to join my course, but take care of yourself first and come to me when you have more money saved up.
Facts.
Nope. Wes said, I'm leaving here with something, and took the $1,500. When it came,
bro, if he was smart and you had $3,000 to your name, go pay your debts, pay off, like go invest in like when do you go, those credit payment scams, or not scams, what do you call it, platforms where you pay off your credit, right? They take your money as a pool, they give you paying a monthly payment out there, and then they pay off all of your debts, right? When you pay down all of your debts, then you can start working on a savings account. Matter of fact, a lot of y'all, the only savings accounts you should have is at maybe a $700 to $1,000 emergency fund, especially if you have hella debts out there. Get or pay down as much of it as possible, right? Because if you have $3,000 to your name, you shouldn't be investing in anything. Just saying. you should. That's the last thing you should be doing. Like, if you got bills, go pay that shit, bro. Like, again, but someone like Wes Watson, of course he's gonna take half, right? It is what it is. If he was smart and a good guy, he'd tell you, hey, bro, go figure out how you can pay down your debts and increase your income. Right? Go get a side gig or something. I don't know. Get a part-time job. Increase your income or something.
Kind of be onboarded to the program by Wes, Opie actually texted Wes early due to time zone differences. Instead of seeing this as a reasonable mistake made by a paying client eager to learn, he yelled at him for bothering him and then punished him by making him wait another week. Over the course of the next 3 months, Opie would be blown off and have to reschedule calls multiple times. One time, when Wes was scheduled to call him, he got blown off so Wes could watch his girlfriend and her kids playing tennis. How did Opie know this, you ask? Because he posted it during the allocated meeting time. This is a level of brazenness and disrespect to clients that deserves to be called out. He eventually did get in contact with Wes after all the verbal abuse, ignored calls, and being down $1,500 with nothing to show for it. Opie was still displaying signs of Stockholm syndrome and placating Wes, apologizing, being respectful, being
This is because it's the all in now. It's all in now because that's the mentality these guys get into when they get scammed. Right now, I'm already $1,500 in. He has my money. I still haven't gotten, what I paid for. So I guess, I have to keep playing this game with them and get what so I can get what I pay for. And what these guys don't understand, the more you play this game with them, the more money you lose. Right. So yeah, they developed this mentality where now they're apologetic to their scammers. It's truly diabolical the way these guys work, man. That's why I like a lot of these guys who are influencers and they scam people. I absolutely despise them because you're really just playing a psychological game to trick people out of their some of them their life savings.
Understanding in the face of blatant lies, and in return for this, he got blown off once again. He also got told that he will not be getting a call until he gets to 3K. So that good gesture of
told you. This is what they do. This is what they do. Right? And now this guy's all in. So now he's like, okay, I'm going to give him the rest of my $1,500. Congratulations. You just lost it all. These guys make me sick.
Accepting half of his last few dollars instead of all of it.
And he's doing it.
Real. He actually wasn't just leaving with something. He intended to leave with everything. Naturally, Opie got fed up and requested a refund. And of course, Wes wasn't going to make it so simple. He states that Wes on Trainerize, which is the app Wes uses for training, whether fitness or business, was entirely unaware of the conversation he had with Wes on Instagram. Meaning that Wes's Trainerize is most likely operated by a team rather than himself. Pretty much confirming that any coaching done outside of IG or video call is probably not Wes. A little bit of false advertising never hurt anybody. But carrying on, after he called out the fake Wes on Trainerize, his account was swiftly deleted. So left with no options, he contacts Wes support and get this, he gets told he can't get a refund because 3 months have passed.
You're not getting that money back, bro. It's gone. It's not coming back. And unfortunately, that sucks. That's $1,500, bro. That's a lot of money, right? You could do a lot with that, bro. And now you just gave it to this guy who's prancing around with your money, acting like he's got more than you, even though that's your $1,500 that's in that Rolls Royce right now. He's flexing. That's your $1,500. Each and every one of y'all got to see your money that he's flexing. This is why y'all gotta, when we all wake up to this, I don't know how y'all fall for these stuff, but y'all need to wake up from this.
You mean the 3 months he waited to get the product? That's like Amazon giving you a 30-day refund policy, shipping out the item after 31 days and saying, sorry pal, refund period is over. Yeah, because of you. Luckily, the story has a happy ending because Opie eventually reaches out to his bank, which made an exception that Wes was probably counting on not happening. I suspect he toyed with this guy for about 3 months specifically because he knew that banks usually don't accept chargebacks after 60 days. Something tells me Wes is very familiar with chargebacks and how they work. Like I said, Opie
most scammers are familiar with bank chargebacks. that's like 101 scamming level. Like, I mean, that's how that works. You got to know about how the bank works, bro. Because you're scamming debit cards out here.
Was given an exception because of the amount of money at stake. It's truly sad because these guys don't realize they're nothing more than $1 for these gurus, and the moment they cease to be $1, they cease to care about them, if that could even be said. There wasn't a happy ending for every story because YouTuber Luis Arevalo dropped a 35-minute video titled "I paid Wes Watson $20K for coaching. This is what happened."
Why? Why? I don't get how y'all are just willing to just part ways. Like, again, listen, I work for my money, right? So, like, for me to give you 20 G's, it's gotta be very compelling. And honestly, fuck, out of the goodness of my heart, I'm gonna figure out what's in it for me, because I'm giving you 20 G's. I might as well just consider it lost if I'm giving it to you, right? I don't get, if I work hard for my money, and I'm sure you guys in the chat, you'll probably be the same way, you're not easily just gonna part with $20,000 for some bald criminal screaming at you online, right? You're not just easily gonna just part with that money. At least that's how I would think, right? But then these guys just seemingly have this cash and then they're just giving it to these clowns online that all you have to do is do a few research, background information, and realize, yeah, bro, it's not worth the squeeze. I don't get how y'all fall for this. $20,000. The last guy was 73 grand. Oh, how did they fleece y'all? How did they? Oh.
The 35-minute video titled "I Paid Wes Watson $20K for Coaching," this is what happened. Luis fell into Wes's trap the same way the guy before him did, through following him for entertainment, seeing his largely fake backstory and lifestyle, and the rest is history. He bought and tried every course, from his weight loss to nutrition to his business to his coaching coaches course. You name it. He tried it. Luis loved him some Wes. In fact, even in this video, Luis takes a mature, forgiving...
Pause. Louis love him some Wes. We got the pause on that, bro. But I bet you he did. I mean, you got to love you some Wes Watson. Love him enough to give him $20,000. What?
Tried it. Luis loved him some Wes. In fact, even in this video, Luis takes a mature, forgiving, and honestly inappropriate tone, if you ask me, especially for what he's talking about and the money at stake. And that's no knock on him. He's just a really nice guy, it seems. But unfortunately for Wes, I'm not so nice.
But I'm gonna keep it real with you. I did the mastermind. I did the coaching. I did the program. It's not that Wes is a scammer.
Oh,
because he delivers a product. He delivers.
Shut up, Luis. You got hurt. It's not like Wes is a scammer. He got 20 G's of your money. And what you got to show for it? A little video on YouTube. Well, he's not a scammer, but clearly you got scammed. He got your 20 G's, bro. What do you got? A dumb video. If you still not willing to just say, hey, bro, I got. And I just have to admit that. You got, bro. It is what it is.
Here's the service, right? You pay him money and he delivers you the coaching. However, here's the thing. There have been situations where people get into it with him and he just cancels their stuff and doesn't refund them.
Here he says Wes is not a scammer. He gives you a service. But Luis forgot to say that in the fine print it says, if you don't make him mad. Newsflash, buddy, that's a scammer. Look, you're allowed to turn away customers for any reason or no reason at all. But typically, you turn away their money as well.
I've also seen it happen one other time on a coaching call where he got into it with some guy. Because again, you guys know how Wes talks, so this person that he was speaking to got offended by the way he was speaking to him, and basically they got into it, started cussing each other out, and Wes just booted him from the program. Obviously didn't refund him his money.
That alone should tell you guys right there that this guy isn't worth the bullshit he's trying to sell you. Because if he's telling you he's this masculine guy that has it all figured out, put together, that's why he's able to, make tens of thousands of dollars every minute, right? And he can't handle a simple pushback from his students who are paying insane amount of money to be in his course, right? That alone should tell you this guy has a fragile ego, and he's probably lying about a lot more if he's even lying about that. I don't get it, bro. Like, the moment he kicked that dude out, I would have known, yeah, bro, I made a huge mistake giving this guy 20K of my money just to be here.
He further goes on to recall another time he witnessed Wes Watson cuss out somebody who wasn't going for it and actually bucked back at Wes. But in Wes's world, he's the only one who can do the name calling, not the customer paying him and funding his lifestyle. Side note, this is a theme throughout the video, stay tuned. So in line with his actions prior, he kicked them out and refused to refund them. I'm pretty sure the first rule of business is the customer is always right, and a satisfied customer can only be a good thing for you. But surprise, surprise, the ex-con who clearly learned nothing from his incarceration displayed low emotional maturity and long-term thinking.
This is me personally. I can't speak for other people, but I paid for 1 month of coaching, right? We only did one call. I went to the mastermind and then I did another 3 months of coaching, right? I paid for 3 months of coaching, $7,500. I only did one call. If you're paying for 3 months,
I see. You see how they lose. You see how they lose 20K. You see how this stuff easily adds up. So he probably did multiple 3-month sessions, right? And he got fleeced for 20K. Like, what? That's insane. And they probably put him on a payment plan too.
3 months of coaching, I expect to get 3 months of coaching. But instead, I got one call, and that was it.
Like I said, this guy is really forgiving because this is obviously a scam. The ironic thing is this guy is 3 times the man Wes is when it comes to coaching, and it's a lot less superficial and pretentious. So it's clear.
That's what I'm about. The only man that I want to admire or aspire to be is like Christ. That's it. I don't care about any influencers. I don't care about anybody online.
I'm gonna tell you this, buddy. Christ did not turn the other cheek like the Bible wants you to believe. Christ was out there. He wasn't playing around. You want to go, if you go into one of his churches, start playing around with it, he'll scream at you. Matter of fact, he was the main protester, the protester against authority out there, right? You go out there and tell those little priests, hey, you got the whole thing wrong. He was combative. Somebody take something from you, you better go figure that out. You turn the other cheek for, bro, that's your money. That's 20 G's and you got nothing for it. I want to live like Christ. Christ would not tolerate this shit. A lot of y'all bastardize the religion, bro. It's crazy, right? That's not Jesus. Jesus was a real one. He'll fight you.
I'm not here to tell you guys how to live. I'm just here to show how I live. And if y'all choose to follow and be inspired by it, cool. If you don't, cool. But I'm not going to sit here and insult you for not following the same path as me, for not getting up early like me, for not having, the same mindset as me. That's on you guys. I'm just here to show you what's worked for me, my life, what's helped me keep my life in order, what's helped me stop drinking, what's helped me lose the weight. And if you guys choose to follow, great. If you guys choose to coach with me, great.
He's just, no, you know what this is? He's sidestepping to sell his own program because he lost that 20 G's, right? If you guys want to just coach with me, right? Yeah, I mean, that's it. I'm just telling you my experience on how I live my life. Nigga, you lost 20K to a bald ex-con. I'm not giving you anything for any kind of coaching. Ain't nothing you can coach me. This is the massive L you took. And now you trying to act like we not seeing you trying to sell an underhanded coaching program and you want to support my coaching. Why? Because you lost 20 G's? That's on you, bro. What you going to teach me? How to lose more money? And the nerve of these people. I'm sorry. Listen, when I know when I'm being sold. That's just me, bro. I'm sorry. I know a sales pitch coming when I see it, bro. Like this guy, if you want to support me and my coaching, oh, you got a coaching program too? How'd you manage to lose 20K to another coach? How'd you manage to do that? You supposed to be I ain't buying your course. The fuck? Get out of here.
If you don't, great.
I'm not.
Either way, I'm on my path.
Stay on your path.
My thing, and I'm taking care of my family, and I'm doing everything.
How? You gave away $20,000 to an ex-con online. You taking care of my family. Who's buying coaching programs from this? I'm sorry. Listen, chat, I have to, because this is one of the guys, bro. I'm telling you, bro. Listen, I get it. He got scammed. Boo-hoo. I'm sorry. Listen, you got your family now. All of a sudden, you weren't thinking about your family when you gave away $20,000. What? Get out of here, bro.
That I'm supposed to be doing as a man of God.
Wes Watson's programs and coaching calls are a little past the place where he can stroke his own ego, yell and berate his customers, and probably blow off some steam while collecting thousands of dollars. If all the testimonies don't prove that, here are some actual clips of him from the IG Baller Busters who originally exposed Wes and his antics.
God, you don't even have any business. Shut up. Oh my God, should I just hang up, you guys? Oh no, if he has 6, he may have to opt out. A day of the week, like 7. Maybe if you had 7. 4 one-on-ones, and he talked about, I may have to restructure it.
At this point, if you're wondering if Wes is playing a character and this is just the style of coaching he uses because it gets him results, you'd be wrong, because Wes is like this off and on camera. The most popular display of this is Wes on all of his F&F appearances. F&F needs no introduction, but they have this segment called Money Monday. No one watches, but they pretty much do this so they can claim that they're helping people and they're not just a bootleg Jerry Springer. But Wes's first appearance was on a Money Monday, which I think should be renamed Mislead Monday or Misrepresentation Monday, because the guests they have on are literally all fake gurus and sometimes outright verified charlatans. When Wes was on, we got a little taste of his character, and it really can be boiled down to bragging about his life.
It's still a movie. Like Miami's a movie. I've lived a movie my whole life. Yeah. Like other people don't live a movie. I've lived one long movie. Even when I was in prison, I stood back in my head and I just lived a movie. I'm like, okay, how's this gonna play out? Okay. Like I'm always writing like this massive story. People don't live like that.
Guys,
it's always idiots that think like that. All right. Hey, stupid. Most movies, actually, majority of movies are based off of some element of reality. It just goes to show you shouldn't be looking. You shouldn't be going through life looking through it as if it's a movie, bro, okay? Because movies are fiction for a reason. This is why you guys live in these delusional fantasies, because you actually think your life's a movie. Going to prison isn't a movie. It's a fucking reality, bro. You're in prison, okay? So I don't, like, again, when these people come out here and they say these things, oh, life is like a movie. No, you're just living in La La Land. Reality is going to bring you back real fucking quick when you wake up broke and dusty. I mean, stop with this weird ass mentality, bro. Like, these people, like, it's weird. Shout out to Dev with the $2 super chat. Dev says, Jesus H Christ, the H stands for catching hands. Facts. A lot of people they get this weird, especially these new age Christians, bro. They piss me off. A lot of these new age Christians get me so mad, right? Because they think, oh, he was so pacifist and all. Like, the Bible I read, I'm like, yo, this dude wasn't playing. Shit. Like, the way, like, most people, like, you know how these guys claim to be speaking out against, like, the authority, the matrix and whatnot? In the Bible, that's what Jesus did. That's why he got killed. But a lot of these guys who claim that they're speaking against the truth or speaking for the truth and all this stuff, they're scared to talk about the real things. Because the real things will get the real enemies who have real power to do something real to you, because it's real, right? So that's what these guys don't understand. People gotta grow up, bro. It's weird. Like, he got scammed out of 20K talking about, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna be peaceful about it because I'm living like Jesus. Nigga, you got scammed. Jesus didn't tell you to be a dumbass.
I think his life might be a movie, and that's followed by bragging about his money.
Like $2 million a year? The fuck is that? Like, I literally have $47,000 in recurring revenue daily, and every day I make 30 to like 150,000 extra every day. I make 30 to 150,000 a day in sales off everything that I sell, and then I have like 40 to 47,000 recurring every fucking day. I can make $1 million a month plus without doing one fucking thing.
Followed by outright lies.
Yeah, I'm probably one of the rarest people online because I answer all my fucking messages. If you go on my website, weswatson.com, the text comes through to me. I answer all my shit. I really sit there and help people through all their shit.
Yes, Wes, you do answer your texts, except once the person pays. Now they're liable to be ignored for 3 months. And even if they aren't ignored, they'll end up talking to a fake Wes when they're supposed to be being trained by you. And don't forget,
it's like the reverse Andrew Tate, right? Only he's not webcamming, right? It's like you think you're talking to Wes Watson, but you're actually talking to a different person, right? Y'all know when Andrew Tate did that, where, these incels would message these webcam girls thinking they're talking to these webcam girls and stroking their meat to these webcam girls, but in actuality, it's Tate doing that. It's Tate doing all of that for you, right? It's the same thing here. These guys, they think they're, and that's the whole sell, right? They pay this insane amount of money because they actually think they're communicating right now with Wes Watson, the social media guy, right? And it's not true. It's just some random lackey he's paying on Fiverr to answer your messages while he's raking in most of the profits because the margins are so big.
Forget he has to shill his course anytime he can.
And I just started doing that to where now I sell a year of my mindset training for $40,000.
Now that was actually the tamest you'll see Wes in one of these interviews. The second out of 3 times Wes Watson was on the FNF podcast was during their live show. To say this is anything short of a dumpster fire would be an understatement. First off, the format is horrible. I don't know why anyone is paying to watch a circle jerk of guys who pretty much all could have videos done on my channel, but of course the subject here is Wes, so that's neither here nor there. The other person we will be focusing on is Andrew Wilson. Andrew Wilson is a conservative Christian guy who is pretty skilled in debate, but like a lot of guys FNF is affiliated with, including Wes, their actions don't align with their words. At any rate, FNF goes around the panel asking guys to define success. When we get to Wes, he has a straight yap session.
My definition of success is across the board. If you're not ripped, if you're not rich, if you ain't rare, if you don't stand out, if you ain't across the board successful, it doesn't mean fucking shit to me.
This nigga like, hey, listen, bro. I'm hurting from my 3rd BBL. My stomach hurts, and I'm kind of hungry. I don't even know what you're talking about, really, bro. Can you hurry this up? Hey, bad man, BBL Kevo, bro. Never disappoints.
You got straight tits and you're in your Rolls Royce. You look like a fucking clown to me.
I think Wes's point, even though he said it like a psycho, is that in every facet of your life, you want to be the best, which is something I can kind of get behind. He means physically, mentally, financially, and anything else. He also said having a hot girlfriend is one of the metrics for success, as if women's beauty is what defines a relationship. But I guess he's on a Red Pill podcast, so that's kind of...
Come to find out, she's an escort. Yeah, bro. Yeah. No, yeah. He getting cooked for that too. They're all getting cooked for that, bro. That's weird. Like, see, again, listen, you bring evidence, right, proving these guys are selling their bodies for money and escorting out there, bro. It's out and open, right? They call it what it is, but again, you guys pay for this. All you got to do is just research what you're buying. Listen, who cares if it? Listen, even if it is consulting, you still do your market research, right? You will do a research when you buy headphones, right? If you're buying a new set of a vacuum or whatnot, you're going to compare brands, you're going to look at the reviews, do a little bit of research. So if you're willing to do a little research on products you buy, common household products you buy, right? Why not do your in-depth research if you're about to spend $20K on an online coach? Why not you just go do an in-depth research on their background, the success rate, what actually is going on with this individual, and are they trustworthy for me to be able to pay them $20K, $73K? Why don't y'all do that for this case? It just doesn't make any sense.
Kind of par for the course. But again, his main focus and point was money and fitness. Those seem to be the two you can't go without the most. Also, keep in mind for the future, he made fun of people who are out of shape when like half the guys on the panel are out of shape. The entire FNF team, who constantly makes fun of women for their weight, is out of shape besides Myron. And one guy who literally got a male BBL, but no one said anything. No one took
yeah, BBL Kevo.
Personal, just awkwardly listed on. After the 5-minute yapathon, it finally gets to Andrew Wilson's turn to speak, and it did not go well.
My definition of success will probably be far different than everybody else's on the panel. I'll probably maybe be the lone dissenter, but my definition of success is having a family, having children, and being part of the apparatus of the world. And true wealth is a rejection of materialism. As Christ said himself, what good does it benefit a man to gain the entire world at the cost of his soul? And essentially, when I think of wealth, I think of materialism. It's okay to have materialism. It's not against Christian ethics to become rich, become wealthy. But I just think it's all beside the point, ultimately.
He starts off by saying his definition will be different than others. And he also said he's looking at it through a lens of faith. So he puts family and being a benefit to society as a top thing that defines success. I think any well-adjusted person would agree with that. I mean, family is arguably what life revolves around. Having people who love you and love you back, will protect you and care for you in times of need and in your old age. It's also a great sense of pride and fulfillment when you created a family, as both Wes and Andrew have. And keep in mind, Wes was throwing thinly veiled disses at guys like Andrew, but yet Andrew just spoke broadly and even acknowledged he's not the popular opinion. As Andrew's speaking, you can see the rage bubbling over from Wes. It's almost as if hearing anyone not worship money and be driven by money at all costs got him angry. It all came to a head when Andrew Wilson said, "I believe it's all besides the point," in relation to the importance of money. That set him off. What ensued next was a relentless attack from Wes. That all started because a guy dared to say he doesn't worship money. With Andrew being a skilled debater and Wes being a skilled scammer, he just resorted to calling him fat, broke, and any other thing he could latch onto. The host Myron tried to corral this guy many times, but he couldn't help himself.
When? Myron didn't do shit. Myron didn't do shit that whole show. Listen, Myron's an even bigger pussy. All right, he's not going near this fucking roided up weirdo, right? I mean, like, you don't think he's still scarred up by some giant dude that kicked down his door, right? You don't think he's still getting PTSD from that dude, right? You think he gonna sit there and take on? No, go watch it. He didn't do shit. Myron didn't do shit. He basically said, "Hey, you just Wes, calm it down." But no one put a stop to this. For almost 30 minutes, this guy kept going. Right? Again, these guys, they pretend to be tough and strong alpha males, but they're really just pussies. And Wes, he's just a bigger bully. That's all he's being right now.
Wes prior to this was actually liked by the FNF audience, but the sentiment quickly flipped after Wes did this. Even that fan base had to reevaluate him. This guy is a bully and a deeply troubled man. He clearly learned nothing from prison and resorted to threatening to slap Andrew. For what? Not believing exactly what he thinks? My favorite part of all this is when Andrew lets him know subtly that he's packing heat.
You usually attack armed men in Florida?
And after that, it just so happens Wes took a seat and stopped with the threats. The rest of the show, just Wes using profanity and yelling over everyone. everyone. So much so that Rumble, who organized this event, told FNF to control their pitbull because even a site like Rumble, which is free speech, whatever that means, they couldn't take the vitriol he was spewing. Ironically, Myron seems a lot more respectful asking guys to stop talking compared to the woman who he berates on his podcast.
That's what I was saying. Myron did nothing to stop this onslaught of just beta male energy. That's just what. There was nothing peaceful about that. All right, or not peaceful or masculine about that. Myron was just a bitch. He didn't stop it, bro. He was just, hey, everybody calm down. But when it comes to the women on his show, Myron will let the inner lion out. He'll let the lion out. He'll scream at the women, scream at them, yell at them. Oh, just get out, right? Why didn't he Frank Castle this dumbass? Why did he Frank Castle him, right? Old diaper bald butt over here. You could have said, this is perfect. He's disrespecting the show. You should have. He didn't do it. Why? Because he's scared. He's just a scary dude.
Something to consider. Like I said before, fans were not feeling Wes anymore. He showed just how immature and out of touch he is.
Relax. This is one thing I don't like.
Wes.
It's people who lie.
Wes.
I thought this was like some real
Wes, we gotta chill, man. We gotta chill.
Taking one look at the comments tells you all you need to know. This brings us to Wes's latest appearance on FNF. He's on the panel with the godfather of the manosphere, also known as Grandma Tomasi, Rollo Tomasi, and Michael Sartain, who I don't have any funny names for. But true to his usual style, Wes opened up the show not even 15 minutes into the stream, and he went in on the chat.
I mean, everybody knows Wes Watson. I mean, I built my YouTube channel fresh out of the penitentiary. 500,000 subs. But what's more important than that, how many people I've helped by just not being a soft ass bitch like half the people in the comments.
The reason being is because, of course, he's unhinged. But two, he was very obviously reading the chat. His performance at the live event left such a bad taste in everyone's mouth that the hate for him carried over into his next appearance for FNF. For context, just compare the comments on his live stream to his first appearance. They're literally like night and day. The people in the first appearance comments didn't have much to go off of regarding Wes Watson, besides what came out of his mouth and how he portrayed himself. Now with this context of who he is as a person, the comments are so bad, I can't even show half of them. In an incredible twist of irony, Michael asks Wes about the philosophy Stoicism, the ideology centered around enduring pain without displaying feelings, emotions, or complaint. Yeah, that.
I think a lot of people have a misunderstanding what Stoicism is. Can you express how you use it?
I mean,
I literally just stayed so disciplined. Who the f***'s gonna come out of prison? Like, not even have lived this life that everyone's living out here and make as much money as I did and rise to where I'm at today and still never break.
One eternity later.
So being stoic means you don't care about your feelings, you'll get the work done anyways.
Wes knew he couldn't even begin to answer.
Hey, Mike. Hey, Mikey. Mike Sartain. Hey, Mr. Manley, Johnny Bravo over here. You couldn't say anything to that? You couldn't correct about that? I mean, jeez.
To that question, so he decided to say discipline equals stoicism. This podcast is filled to the brim with irony because while on a men's self-improvement podcast, Wes says this.
The reason I'm a good coach and I help people is because if someone says that they're suicidal, they're going to take their own life, or if someone, I tell people in my group all the time, if you died in front of me, I'd step on the back of your fucking head and walk over you into the gym and handle the rest of my fucking day.
Yeah, that's the guy you give 20K to. Huh. Wow, bruh. Just psycho. Just complete psycho. Somebody croaks over or die. Yeah, I'm just gonna step over him, go to the gym. You know, because that's what a man would do. Because they just suicide. You know, bruh. If you're having suicidal thoughts, please do not pay this guy for help. It's probably not gonna end well.
And that's the thing. Everyone's so weak. They give a shit.
Look, you got Mike Sartain rubbing his knees. Hey, Mike, why you rubbing your knees, bro? I thought you was a tough guy, Mike. Huh?
And that's the
Look
thing.
at him.
Everyone's
Look
so
at him.
Weak.
Hold up, Jet. Y'all can't see it. Y'all can't see it. Look at this. Look at him.
Weak. They give a shit.
Rollo and Myron always had.
Dude, bro, just call him out.
Behind I'm saving men's lives, yet they co-sign this. Just one more reason Wes's coaching calls should be avoided at all costs. Throughout the stream, he's taking subtle jabs at Wilson. At one point, even saying we need to stop addressing the masses of idiots, aka Andrew and the chat roasting. But then he proceeds to address the masses of idiots and listening.
The thing is, we all kind of just address the masses of idiots too much, and that's what they want. They'll go from like being straight fat to like skin vein ripped like a mother. I bet you it probably hurts all these little just in the chat.
Now, stepping away from Wes's public meltdowns, let's take a look at his private melt. This one is a bit heavier, but his ex-wife alleges that he gave her a case of the beats while they were married. Color me surprised.
You mentioned, you know,
bro, if there was a real life Harley Quinn, it'd be her. Bro, tell me you're toxic without telling me you're toxic, bro. And she might not be. I'm just throwing it out there, but like, god damn, bro. Like, whoa. Wes, damn. I see how you like him, Wes. Yeah, you like him crazy.
you know, publicly that there was a lot of abuse in your marriage, unfortunately.
Yeah, so I don't want to speak on that until legally, like, things calm down. So, but there's definitely a lot to talk about.
The interviewer goes on to say something very illuminating.
But I was disappointed to see that, because the West, that the public persona of him was that he's a learned.
Whoa. Did she tattoo all the way through her eyelid? What? Yo, that is, I'm sorry I'm focused on that. Yo, do you know how painful that must have been? They must have numbed it, right? That's crazy. She tattooed all the way through that mouth. What? Whoa.
Man, he's an evolved man, but I guess anger got the best of him, and unfortunately, some abuse occurred, and it's sad.
He says that he was disappointed because his public persona is that he's a learned man who saw the error in his ways and now just wants to help people. I mean, that's possible, but that's not the case for Wes. And this is a microcosm of the bigger issue. Everyone's just basing this off of what he said himself. It's only until people dig into these guys' background and what they actually do and not just their words, then we look back in retrospect and say, wow, it's obvious. We should have all known. How could we have looked over this? And well, it's because we have people who platform these guys irresponsibly, for one, and bad actors like Wes who are always trying to hold on to the credibility of others who are hosting them. People just don't fact check. I'm not saying this is 100% confirmed. I haven't seen any documents, so I can't say. But I will say this. I wouldn't be clutching my pearls at the idea of Wes Watson beating the brakes off his girl.
That's crazy. Like, and honestly, just looking at her, she look like she's been through some serious traumatic situations. Like she's been through it, right? And I wouldn't be surprised someone like Wes Watson, if he's willing to just yell at his fans that are paying him money, right? I mean, I'm not gonna put it past him to beat on a girl, but yeah, that's unfortunate, bro. I mean, she doesn't deserve that. But again, people like that are out there, man. Y'all gotta be careful.
Over people who fell for his prison stories and all that, because there's nothing really at stake. But it will forever remain a mystery to me how people will still purchase his courses and support him now. The sentiment has no doubt changed, evident in the fact that the comments favoring him in his own subreddit are not just few and far between, but they get downvoted straight to hell. But still, there are people defending him. For example, this guy.
So I got the $3 grand together. I put down 1,000 cash.
It's like he even tries to look like Wes Watson. He's skinny as hell, bro. Call him Lenny. Lenny Watts. Oh my goodness, bro. Of course he'd be the guy to pay for it, bro. You guys need to stop wasting your cash. Hey, Lenny Watson, you don't need to do this. Okay? You don't need to be like him. You're better than this. Okay? You're better than him.
I took out 2 new credit cards and I put down 1,000 on each credit card.
Damn!
That's how I got in. He was very responsive, you know. I signed up, he answered me. He collected the funds. He put me on the schedule. He ran me through all the apps. He set me up. I bought business coaching and he gave me all of his personal training included with that for free if I wanted any of it, which I thought was pretty cool.
To me, it seems
he spent $2 grand on 2 credit cards for Wes Watson and a couple for your books. He maxed out $2,000 in credit cards. So you guys who sit there and say, Duke, come on, you're being too far-fetched. These guys aren't spending. Shout out to Raphael for the $2 super chat. But listen, when you guys are telling me, Duke, you're being far-fetched. Okay, listen. People aren't maxing out their credit cards to pay for a Wes Watson course or pay for one of these influencer courses. You're absolutely just making shit up. The people who pay for these courses, Duke, are people who can afford it. No, because you don't understand reality. Like the average Joe, these guys are marketing to, right? They don't have like $2,000, $3,000, $7,000 to just throw away like that on an internet guru. They don't have that kind of money, right? So when you hear, because a lot of y'all incels, when y'all look at us criticize this shit and tell you the truth on what's happening, y'all don't do the research and listen to these idiots talk about how they max out them credit cards themselves. They spend money they don't have on courses and programs that will not work. Look at this man. He could have done better with those $2,000 credit card. Now he's got to have to carry a balance every month, pay even way more than that. Come on. In interest, you're gonna be done. Shout out to Raphael. Raphael says West and Aaron Sloan should fight. My money's on West. Oh yeah, because West has the size. But listen, Aaron, if he because West may not have the stamina. West may have like what do you call it? A Zerka level, just levels of stamina, right? Just non-existent. So I think Turtle Boy might get him on that end. But either way, they're both women beaters. So I mean, it's like what is it? Put two women beaters in a ring and watch them beat each other. That's actually not a bad idea. Hey, yo, wait, that's not a bad. Hey, why don't we have that? Yeah, hey, if you want to beat on a woman, why don't y'all just beat on each other? Pause. Yeah, no, pause on that. Joe, pause on all of that, real quick.
There's a pattern of West preying on people who should be saving and investing all the money they have, not spending it to fulfill a degradation king. I mean, for God's sake, the guy had to open new credit cards to pay to get yelled at. It's clear he's not in the best financial position, and his money would have been better spent put towards his business, his interests, a shirt, literally anything other than what he spent it on. Another pattern that I'm recognizing is the fact that all these guys who are paying for his business calls have nothing to show for it except, I guess, in this case, $2,000 in credit card debt. Yet some still turn around and say this.
I have to be honest. I got what I paid for and what I played for. I did not get scammed. I got coached. The man is not a con artist.
I am not a victim. I am not a victim. Don't tell me I got scammed, okay? I maxed out 2 credit cards. Even if it doesn't translate into anything, I still got what I paid for. I'm not a victim.
You might not have what it takes to run his program. That's not his f***ing problem.
He does have a point. He paid to get yelled at, and that's all he got. He's exhibit A of what this course gives you, and that's realizing you don't want to be anything like Wes and a lower bank balance. So you're saying this is a success story, and in the same breath, you told me I paid to get yelled at, and I got it. And I also realized in the end, I don't want to be him. Oh, and the price was $3,000. And then I'm supposed to look at you and not think you got robbed blind.
This is how these guys stay broke. Honestly, Kat, I'm being real with you. Right? Because these guys, in their pursuit and greed to get rich, they don't really actually sit back and understand how do people really get rich. Just save 10% of your income, bro, and that's it. And invest. That's it. Save 10% and invest. If you're not even in a position to even have a savings, then pay your debts and then, find a way to grow, right? And financially, that's it. Get a better job or get a side job or whatnot. But, these get-rich-quick schemes online is never going to work. This is how these guys stay broke. Right here. Right, he's not getting money, guaranteed. He's got to pay money to the bank that he borrowed those credit cards from. This is how these bozos get fleeced all day long, and yet they call it a success story. Jeez.
Not happening. One key way to know if someone is fake is if other successful people are disavowing them, and they're only co-signed by people with questionable ethics at best. And by successful, I don't mean Walter Weeks, I mean genuinely successful people who got successful through business or something along those lines. They have a certain decorum about them, and just like real kingpins who went to prison, they can spot a faker. Mark Shapiro, a titan in the real estate investing industry, hilariously called out Wes Watson, who compared to him is like a glow bug to the sun, exposing Watson as the obvious fraud he is.
You live in the Brickell house. It's not the most expensive penthouse in downtown Miami. It's actually not even on the water. So I don't even know what you're talking about. And then now you're the self-proclaimed most legendary guy in Miami? Well, what about the Moss family? And what about George Perez?
Like I said,
damn! bro just called you broke and alone in like multiple different ways. Damn.
In my prior video, these guys prey on the desperate and needy. Whether it's a pickup artist, a finance guru, anything, they're gonna exaggerate their success or they're gonna outright lie. They're never gonna give you a realistic expectation because that hurts their bottom line. Wes knows his target demographic are guys with $3K to spare, and he doesn't mind taking all their money and their dignity. As you can see, by the time you're hyped up enough over the thought of escaping your financial position and getting FU money like Wes has, when you don't get those results, you're gonna gaslight yourself into believing not just that you got something of value, but that you were the problem. If you need motivation to start a fitness routine, look elsewhere and realize motivation is temporary. Discipline is what makes you go to the gym every day.
But they're not trying to hear that, right? These young men today, they're not trying to hear that because it's the instant gratification culture that we're in right now. It's affecting men, women, all over the place. Everybody wants to be somebody important. They want to be that important person right now, right? They want to skip the work. They want to skip the blood, sweat, and tears. They just want a free course this is going to get them to instant 10K, to get them the knowledge to get there. And there's no secret to that. You actually have to work, try multiple different things. You have to be disciplined. Like, building real discipline, it is tough. A lot of people can't even manage that, right? Because that means you have to really take control of your life. And a lot of people, they're not ready for that kind of responsibility, right? Because before you even be responsible for anything else out there, right, you got to be responsible for yourself. Because when you start getting more money, you think your problems are going to go away? No, they're just going to get worse. But now you have a lot of money to deal with them, right? But a lot of these guys don't get it. They just look at, from the outside looking in, they see these rich people, they see them living these kind of lives, and they think, okay, well, if they have that money and they happen to have a course, well, I might as well just buy it and see what's up. You're not going to get rich that way. You're going to go broke. Because the real guys who make money, they're not out here doing this. They don't waste their time with these nickel and diming schemes that these people are doing. They don't waste their time because they're actually making money. They're movers and shakers. They're out there in the world. They don't have time to nickel and dime you for a $7,000 course. Hell, they spend that on a meal. Just saying, bro. So, I don't know how many of these videos you guys have to keep seeing to realize you've been got, bamboozled, fugazed, whatever you want to call it. But we're going to keep putting them out there because there's a whole lot more. Ty Lopez is back. Yeah, he's back, y'all. And he's doing the exact same thing these guys are. And they're falling for it. They're all falling for it, chat. But let me know what y'all think. Do you think there's any hope for these incel dudes who are spending these ridiculous amount of money, like this guy who dropped $73K on Wes Watson? Do you think there's any hope for these guys, or do you believe, you know what, dude, it's hopeless? Anybody that's willing to drop that kind of money is a lost cause. They need to be getting their mental faculties checked or something. They're not normal, right? You let me know in the chat or comment section. I'm going to catch you in the next one. Peace.